Good morning. I'm Janet. This is Janet's corner of the building. I'm here at Los Volcanes Senior Center, and this is week 3 of drawing. And last week we did doodling, playing around with the pencil, doodling with pens, pencils, and then I forgot to mention contact crayons, which are more clay-based. And today I'm going to cover contour drawing, explain what that is. I don't do a whole lot of it, but it is nice to practice it a little bit, improve the hand and eye coordination. And then from contour drawing, talk about shapes and forms and measuring proportions. Ellipses, yes, we're going to cover ellipses today. I'll begin with contour drawing. Contour drawing is pretty much looking at your, you keep your eye on the subject. I'm going to choose these flowers here. I'm not going to try and include all the flowers. I'll pick one point on the subject, and I'm going to probably start at this point with my eye, and as I follow the object with my eye, and I'm going to move my eye along the top, around the side, and down very slowly. And as I'm doing that, I'm also marking it on my paper, that same line that I see over here on my still life. Okay, I'm going to start at the top, probably start with an open flower. And this is just practice. Some people enjoy doing it. I get a kick out of looking at what I have up here after I get done with my contour drawing. I'm going to start at the top of the flower. I'm going to follow the outside edge of the flower on around. And I'm going to do this fairly quickly and work on it to the inside of the flower. Gently lift up my pencil, bring it down here. I'm going to go along the stem, come out here for a leaf, and then on down the stem, and then come back up on the other side, and stop right there. Interesting. It always astounds me what I wind up with. But I did this quickly to get the point across. And as for shapes and forms, this is contour drawing. And then I'm going to follow up with a still life. Drawing a still life. Shapes. Shapes are flat. Forms are three-dimensional. And with the three-dimensional forms, ellipses would be included with the three-dimensional forms. Three-dimensional forms, we have a sphere, and usually to see that form, we need a light source. So we have a light source up here, and of course the shadow is going to fall on the opposite side as where your light source is. Give this more three-dimensional. Up by the light source, the negative space, which is the space around your object. Your object is positive space, and then back here is negative space. I'm going to darken the negative space up by the light source. And this will help, this will reinforce the idea that this is a sphere, or not coming out from the paper, a three-dimensional object. Over here with the shapes they're flat. This is a shape. Lots of different shapes, organic shapes, geometric shapes. We played with those over here in doodling. Also filling in areas with hatching, cross-hatching, hatching, lines horizontal to each other, cross-hatching, filling up an area with a crosshatch. And as the lines become denser, of course the area is going to be darker. Format. Let's see, we'll include the definition of a format. Format is pretty much the paper that's going to hold your composition. Format, you can have lately I've been cutting a lot of large circles for a format for my series of paintings. And the format's going to dictate the composition. Whatever you compose on it. Composing, pretty much putting things where you want them to tell your story. And as Bob always told me, the line tells a story, and the color evokes the emotion. And later on we'll talk about color. Shapes, forms. Let's see, forms, we have, things are made up of, our world around us, the cityscapes, the objects, pictures, they're made up of a combination of shapes. Shapes, a cube shape, sphere, cone, we got a cone, a cylinder, and I think that's it for the basic forms. And whenever we take that form, we come over here, the sphere, I'm gonna draw my area where my vase is gonna live. The vase, I'm gonna include this shape, the form, spherical, a cylinder, and then we get up here to the ellipse. And that ellipse, we put another circle up here, it flattens it. And get that illusion, as we look at it, the top rim of a pitcher, this one has a spout on it, but if you're looking straight down on it, you'll see that it's pretty much a circle. But once you start tipping it up, that circle gets flattened. And once that happens, it's called an ellipse. Up here, we're gonna, to get a nice ellipse, what I do, draw from the elbow down. And it's pretty easy if you have a large piece of paper, but if you're drawing on a smaller piece of paper, you're using more of your hand than your arm. It's nice to have some large pieces of paper. Save the smaller paper for your sketchbook. This is one of my sketchbooks. I put notes in it. I draw, I sketch in it, I put all my ideas in it. It's good to have a sketchbook. Also, let's see, I just found a series on YouTube, Perspectives, and they cover a single artist in each episode. I use this to even write down notes from the film, or let's see, not film, the program that they put up on YouTube. Anyway, over here I'm going to turn this circle into an ellipse, an oval. I'm using my whole arm, oval. I want to get this base symmetrical also. Here, I'll draw a line down the middle of it. I want this side to match this side. We're going to bring our box in a little bit more so that I can compare the negative space also. This negative space should match this negative space. And then I'm measuring out from the center line. I use my fingers. This space over here equal to, well, this over here is just a little bit bigger. So then I bring it in. And as for the ellipse at the top, this rim that's closest to you, what you're going to do is repeat that curve at the bottom of your object. It could be a coffee cup, not just a pitcher, a can of beans. But I'm going to repeat this curve here, down here. And this base probably sits a little bit below the eye. Okay, we're gonna put I'm looking down on it, so then the table is gonna fall down here. I'm gonna fill that negative space in. So then I see the ellipse at the top. My ellipse is not going to be pointed at the edges, it's going to be rounded off. You can also put crosshairs on it to get each area equal. And then of course the rim of the ellipse that's closer to me, I'm going to make it a lot heavier so that it will push forward. Let's see, another word. Anyway, yes, this will come forward. And then pushing this back with a lighter line. Okay, let's see. We did the symmetrical, made each side symmetrical by drawing a line down the middle of our area so that we can get this base symmetrical. Say it has a spout on the side. And you're going to see a little bit of the top. And as your object or your vase, let's see, at eye level, you're not going to see an ellipse like this. If the top of your vase, or now that I put a spout on it, some kind of T, erase this here, some kind of object to distribute T. If I'm looking at it straight on, of course you're not going to see the ellipse like this. It's going to, at eye level, it's probably going to be just barely, just pretty much a flat line across the top. We covered ellipses, what else? Oh, measuring proportions, and then we'll call it a day. I spent a little bit more time on the ellipses than I planned. Measuring proportions, your pencil's a really good instrument for measuring proportions. This is whenever you're drawing still lifes or outside drawing. You want to include cityscapes, landscapes. But with this, I have a pot here. I'll use the vase over here and the flowers like I did a few days ago. Anyhow, with the pot and the flowers, I'm going to measure the width of the whole arrangement. I'm going to put a window up here to place my object. I hold the pencil out at arm's length, not here, because each time you're going to get a different measurement. I hold the pencil out at arm's length, and I look at, and I'm going to measure the width, the widest part of the flower arrangement. Flower arrangement with one eye closed, it's a little over 1 pencil wide. So then I turn the pencil vertically, and I want to see how high I want to draw my form at. 1, 2. So then it's 1 to 2. I know that it's going to be 2 pencils. 2 pencils high and 1 pencil wide. I'm going to measure this with my hand as soon as so I know that my hand is 8 inches from fingertip to thumb tip. Let's see, 1, 2, let's go like this. Oh, 1, 1, and 2. So that's pretty much gonna be the area where my object's gonna live. I'm gonna come over here so that I can look at it again. And it helps to stay in the same spot whenever you're measuring with your pencil. The vase is gonna take up how much of this area. I measure with my pencil vertically, about less than half, and less than half, and less than half, okay. Less than half, so I know that the top of the vase is right about there. Once you sketch in something, it helps to go back. I'm going to put a center line down here so that I can get each side even. Okay. And sometimes you have to go back and measure the proportions once again after you get it on your paper. I think it has a taller. Okay. 1. A little less than, here's my pencil. 1 pencil height, a little bit less than a pencil wide. I'm gonna echo the rim of the ellipse down here at the bottom. So I see at times I see people, some of the students in my past, they have a nice ellipse up here, but then the vase is straight across at the bottom. That ellipse is, you repeat it down here, it'll give it that appearance of a form. And after this, and then I sketch in the flowers and such, just the outer edge of the flowers, the area in which the flowers are gonna live. And then I can go back in and sketch some of the flowers. And whenever you're sketching, don't have to include everything. Sketching is pretty much to get an idea what you're going to include in your drawing, and the drawing more detailed. The drawing's going to take quite a bit longer than a sketch. A sketch is just give you an idea of the composition that you're going to, and what things you're going to include. And I want my some flowers coming down here, and flowers coming down here, and roses. So then I know pretty much what I'm going to include in my drawing. This is a sketch. Can take this and transfer it to another nice piece of paper and add detail. That's about it for today. I better wait until next week. Let's see, next week I was going to talk about light source. Let's see, what else? Oh, still lifes, putting together your own still lifes. Texture, and let's see, we'll keep it at that. Oh, putting together a box to put your still life so that it cuts down the negative space for you. I hadn't used one in the past, but I found that I like that idea. Once I looked at it, I like that idea. It's something to stop the eye. And then also, we're gonna probably make a viewfinder. Those are nice to have on hand. And thank you so much. This is Janet's Corner, and thank you, Michael and Maria, for having me at Los Volcanes Senior Center, and talk to you later. Bye-bye.